Hi, I'm Tommy Baker, Commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Veteran Services. The video you're about to watch is part of a series where we spotlight the incredible stories of our brave veterans right here in the volunteer state. We hope you enjoy this video, and thanks again to all who have served.
All aviators have a call sign. Yours was Tinker. Am I missing something there?
Tinkerbell. Come on. Come on. So everyone gets a call sign. And sometimes it's based on something that you screwed up, or an allusion to your name, or maybe a physical characteristic that you have. One of my friends is from Manhattan, so they call him Broadway. My other friend, he's very thin, so we call him Stick. And I still refer to him as Stick today. And then there are those that are less glamorous, like Crash, for the friend.
For an aviator, Crash, huh? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
we won't fly with that one.
We don't want to fly with that one. Exactly. So it's part, it's really part of the good humor, the joviality that we share, just as we met a year ago, and it took us, all of 20 seconds to connect.
That's right.
It's those connections that continue to, hold us up throughout our lives.
Lifelong bonds, right?
Lifelong bonds, absolutely.
You said test pilot school really changed your trajectory in your career. How so?
So I can trace it back to my time at the Naval Academy, when women were beginning to graduate and go on out into the fleet. The Navy was still kind of unsure as to how we were going to receive these women. But I met the very first woman to graduate from Navy Test Pilot School. She was a graduate of Purdue. And I remember just being enthralled with what she had to say and the advice that she gave me, which still rings true today. She said, in order to get to test pilot school, you need to graduate at the top of your flight school class. You need 1,000 hours of flight time. You need every qualification you can possibly get as soon as you can get it, and tell every commanding officer that that is what you want to do. So I followed every bit of her advice, and I think halfway through flight school, I was just average in my class, and I knew that wasn't going to cut it. So I decided that I was going to light a fire behind my own behind, and I was assigned a mentor. And that mentor, he told me that you can graduate at the top of your flight school class, and I will help you do that. So as I graduated at the top of my flight school class, I went to my first squadron. I got the 1,000 hours of flight time. I got all the qualifications. And then I told every commanding officer, till they were probably tired of hearing me, that I wanted to go to Navy Test Pilot School.
Right.
So I did.
It's awesome.
And I flew with some of your Army cohorts. So Army test pilots are trained at Navy Test Pilot School.
Okay.
So, back to your question, it was transformational for me, because I was now flying with the best of the best across the US Navy, across the Army. We had a couple Air Force officers. We had international students as well. It was no longer an issue that I was qualified.
You flew over 35 airframes in your time in the Navy. Do you have a favorite? Maybe the F-14?
The F-14 is my favorite. It is, absolutely. Right. So
Great.
I still remember the day, as you graduate from test pilot school, you get to become qualified in 2 different aircraft. So I knew that I was going to be in the EA-6B because of my electronic warfare background. And then I remember the chief test pilot asking me, he was a crusty old Marine. He says, "What do you want your second aircraft to be?" So I knew it was my moment, and I said the F-14.
Oh,
this is during, the Top Gun era, the initial Top Gun era, which is coming back. Yes.
Wow.
So he said, "If you think you can hack it, I'll get you a class date," and he did.
That's great. That is awesome. You talk a lot about gritting it out, navigating turbulence, and earning your wings. What those terms mean to you? How have they helped you in life?
Oh, they have helped me tremendously. When I think of gritting it out, I really relate that to my time at the Naval Academy, where by law, the law said that women could be there, but a lot of our experience said we didn't belong. And the way that we showed that we were not an experiment to be proven wrong is that we picked ourselves up day after day and year after year, and we showed that we belonged, and our presence showed or validated the law. That's the way I would describe it. So that day after day, you just pick yourself up, you put your next foot forward, you don't listen to the naysayers, you learn how to hold your boundaries, and grit and persistence are built one day at a time. We like to think that we can teach grit. We can in certain regards, but it really comes from deep within ourselves, that we've got to be willing to push through the hard times. And I will say, gritting it out helped me become the officer that I was throughout my career and the professional that I continue to be today.
Yeah, that's great.
And I think about navigating turbulence, it doesn't stop in some regards.
That's right.
I got onto flight school and was questioned as to whether I truly belonged. I was asked to make coffee. I told the Marine captain who asked me to make coffee, "Sir, I don't make coffee and I don't drink coffee. I'm here to go to flight school." He was pushing my boundaries, and by all the experience that I had from the Naval Academy, I knew how to handle it. And I teach young people today, particularly young women, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen to you, it's just a matter of when. And you need to know your boundaries. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing. I knew why I was in Pensacola. I was there to go to flight school. I was there to become an aviator. And then I think of earning your wings. You get to this point where you've shown it and you've done it. I earned my wings of gold. I graduated at the top of my flight school class, and no one can take that away from me. I'm a graduate of US Navy Test Pilot School. Again, the same thing. No one can take that away from me. And now I share those lessons with my students at Vanderbilt. I'm teaching leadership, and I love it. I absolutely love it.